Welcome to the REPO4EU Podcast, the program that brings you closer to the latest innovations, research and developments happening in drug repurposing across the globe. I'm your host, Alexandra Rodriguez, and for today's episode, I'm very excited to introduce our guest, Pablo Perdomo. Originally from the Spanish island of Gran Canaria, Pablo completed his degree in biomedical sciences at the Autonomous University of Barcelona and later specialized in bioinformatics with a master's from Leiden University in the Netherlands. After working as a data scientist at Leiden University Medical Center for over a year, Pablo is now pursuing his PhD in graphs and artificial intelligence at the Technical University of Madrid. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Pablo and that you get to learn a bit more about his role in the EU-funded project REPO4EU, where he's using his knowledge in artificial intelligence to advance mechanism-based drug repurposing. I'm very happy to welcome you to the podcast, Pablo. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Alex. Very happy to be here with you.
So it would be great to start by delving a bit more into your journey into the academic world and how you got into where you are today. So I guess my first question would be, what prompted you into pursuing a career in science?
So when I started my bachelor's, I was really into more the biology part, let's say. But when I was about to finish, I had the subject bioinformatics and I was very passionate about it. So from that point on, I tried to focus all my studies in this area. I started to take lots of courses in informatics. And then I found this master's in Leiden that really focused on AI. I really enjoy it. I started to do my master thesis in the biosemantics group. I started to focus more in graph and drug repurposing also. Then this opportunity came up where I was able to join the UPM, expanding a bit more on this area and really motivated.
I'm curious to know, obviously AI, it's a very hot topic at the moment. There's many different conversations happening, not only medicine and healthcare, but applied to many different disciplines. What do you think drove you to choose artificial intelligence as a key area in your research and in your studies?
When I was also finishing my bachelor's, my uncle, who's also a university teacher, started to introduce me to these AI achievements. So he started to talk about AlphaGo, AlphaZero. For me, it was like almost like magic to feel like machines could, in this case, beat humans in Go and in chess. From that point on, I really was overwhelmed by all the possibilities and how fast this field is moving. Yeah, I would say that were my main motivations and what drives me to into this area.
And you said you chose to do your master's in bioinformatics. Considering your interest in AI and computer science, what led you to choose bioinformatics instead of going, for example, to a computer science master's? Was there a part of you that wanted to keep that connection with biology?
Yes, exactly. So for me, it would be like a bit weird, let's say, if I had done 4 years of biomedical science and I threw that away and maybe focused more on just the computer science part. So for me, bioinformatics, it's like the perfect combination of these fields that I really enjoy. Well, maybe also because since I was a kid, my mom's a doctor, so I've always been like exposed to this atmosphere of trying to help people. And I don't know, I guess that's also one of the key elements that made me choose bioinformatics.
I would like to know more about what you're looking into. What's the big question you're trying to answer with your research?
Right now in UPM, I'm focusing on these AI techniques that are applied to knowledge graphs, which are these data structures that are composed of nodes that are connected to each other by different edges. Yeah, you can imagine it as a kind of social network where everything or everyone is connected to each other. But in this case, for example, in the REPO4EU, we are working with biological knowledge graphs. We have different genes that are connected to each other, that are also connected to diseases, to symptoms. And we are using AI techniques applied to these graphs to obtain, on the one side, predictions, so drug candidates that can treat the diseases. But also, I'm really focusing on the more explainability part, not just if a drug candidate per se. Some people might be a bit skeptical about just trusting a certain candidate just because an AI model has said so. And we want to provide explanations or hypotheses that can help to validate these predictions.
You mentioned earlier that you had an interest in drug repurposing. What was your knowledge of this field before you joined REPO4EU?
I think that the first time I started to work with drug repurposing was when I was about to finish my master's, and I had to choose what my master's thesis should be about. But one of the options that was available was drug repurposing using knowledge graphs. As soon as I started working in it, I was really overwhelmed by the possibilities of and how useful it can be to this area. Like, you get the sense that what you are working on will really help people in the future.
I think in your case, it's really fascinating because you're working on two, they're not new areas per se, but they're very emerging at the moment. So, on one hand, we have AI, and on the other hand, we have drug repurposing for essentially the improvement of medicine and healthcare. How do you feel to know that you're part of this movement?
Yes, for me, it's like super motivating to actually feel like you know that what you are doing is going to eventually help people. And that feeling, it's just fantastic. And I feel really lucky to be working something that I really like, and also have this feeling that it's useful.
From doing the research itself, but also from the topics that you're looking into, what are the main challenges that you're seeing in your field at the moment?
I would say that the main challenge right now is like keeping up to date, because what's new today it's probably maybe obsolete in 3 or 4 months. But this also, I think that it's nice because you are constantly reading, constantly getting new ideas, inspiring yourself. So it's a drawback, but it's also some kind of motivation.
So we're getting now into the end of our conversation today, Pablo, and I think for anyone who's listening to you today talk about your journey and what you're working on, if they're starting their journey into science or they want to specialize their research in computer science or biomedicine, what would be your advice to them, drawing from your experience and what you've lived so far?
I would say that on the one side, you should be curious and explore different areas until you find some area that you are really passionate about. Also, for me, I found really important to find a good investigation group to work in. And in this sense, I think I've been really lucky. Both groups, the biosemantics group and the UPM group that I'm working in right now, for me are amazing, not only professionally in the stuff they do, but also personally. I feel that if you are comfortable in your working environment, that can really make your work really improve.
So having that support is really important as a researcher.
Exactly, yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Pablo. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today, and I wish you all the best in your research. And I'm very sure we'll see each other around.
Thank you very much, Alex.
For more information about REPO4EU and the mission behind the project, please visit repo4.eu and make sure to follow the project on all the social media. We're on X, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and YouTube. If you simply type REPO4EU, you'll find us there. Until the next one.